I've been living van life for 3 years now, but sadly, that's coming to an end. The TimmyBago will be no more at the end of this week, but in this video, I'm going to take you through some of the best things that I've bought over the last 3 years to help me in van life. And I'll show you some of the worst too, because there's been some terrible stuff. Let's start here in the cab. Okay, first up, one of the most important things that I needed to be able to work and be online whilst living van life is the internet, a router, a Wi-Fi dongle, and there are so many different options that you can get. You can have them hardwired into the ceiling, you can have them permanently attached to your electrics, all kinds of options. You can have Starlink, for goodness sake. But I looked at all of those options and there were so many reports online of this reception gives this and it all got very confusing. So I figured, let's just try one of the cheap options, give that a try and see where it goes. I don't know how much this one cost, but it wasn't very much and it has done a very decent job. Oh, and I'll link everything in the description down below so you can go and grab yourself one if you want to. Okay, onwards in the cab, and there's loads of stuff up here actually I'd kind of forgotten. First and most importantly, when you live in van life, always be charging ABC. These are lighter socket adapters, 2 plugs in each, 2 USB-A's and 1 USB-C. Always have something charging while you're driving. You never know when you need it. I've got 2. I would have more if I could. Onwards, and we are into general usefulness. If something's broke, you need gaffer tape. If something's stuck, you need WD-40. I've used both of these multiple times for many reasons and I've lent them to people as well. I think everybody should have these 2 items if you live in van life. Living life on the road, can't always get to a laundrette, but these things have been a godsend. Just one of these half sheets washes a whole load of stuff. Resealable bag, so easy, so clean. Get them. On to legal necessities if you plan on driving in Europe, and they're just good to have anyway. 3 things you need, and I've had police check them on regular things. Safety triangle, just in case you break down somewhere where it's a bit hazardous. And you need to put this a long way behind your vehicle, at least 50 meters, so that people have got a chance to see it and slow down. High vis, I've got 2, just in case I have a passenger. Get your high vis on, absolutely makes a massive difference. And the third thing, which is in the back, and I'll show you tomorrow, is the first aid kit. You need one of those as well to be legal in basically all of Europe. Oh my God, I'm getting a bit tired. Still here in the cab, and we're onto security gear now. This is a basic steering wheel lock. Just goes on there. You know how steering wheel locks work. I've used this a handful of times. I sincerely doubt if anybody was going to steal the old boy. Bless his heart, I really don't think they would, but just having that element of visible security, I think maybe has helped me out in a couple of places where I've parked, which were a tiny bit on the rough side. And one last thing that I keep here in the cab, and I keep them down here because it's a really convenient spot and it's kind of a nice footrest. There they are. I'll grab one to show you. These are my leveling chocks, and I haven't used them a whole lot. I really haven't. I think I've maybe used them 3 times total in 3 years, but they're so vital when you need them. When you've got the perfect spot and the van, there's no way of getting the van level, these things just make it easy to get a level van, and that is important for sleeping. It's important to have a good cooking platform and just general comfort. So although I've hardly used them, I would say these things are some of the most important things I've had in the van. And the guitar, which I've had with me just these last 5 weeks at festivals, and I have played 0 music. Go and check out the festival vids, they are mega. And oh my gosh, I haven't seen this little guy in about a year. Remember him? If you do, you're a proper Tonux World Tour YouTube nerd, because he appeared in some of the first van life YouTube videos, and then he's been stuck in a drawer basically ever since. He's very cute. I'm not sure what to do with him. I found him in the van. Maybe you should go with the van. Let me know what you think in the comments. Into the other side of the cab, where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more things to show you. I'm quite astounded how many things I've bought for this van that have proved to be invaluable. Okay, let's start with this one. This is a 3-meter long charging cable, so it means that I can charge stuff from the front into the back, and that'll be really important. I'll show you why later in this video. Regular Stanley knife. Haven't had to use it a lot, but if you need something cutting, there's nothing better. Talking of things that needed to be cut, this is something that I would have never thought of before getting van life, but it is heavy duty, stick-on Velcro, and I've used this several times, and I'll show you again when we get into the back, but highly recommend get some heavy-duty stick-on Velcro. It's so versatile and get so much done with it. Again, with all this stuff, link down below. Cable ties, say no more. These just very useful if you're strapping things to things. This one is another one that I would never have picked to be such a vital bit of kit. What do you reckon this is? Huh? What do you reckon it is? Let me show you. It is a mirror. But it's not just any mirror. It is flexible, it is kind of plasticky, and it's magnetic. So you can just come out here, stick it on the side of the van, and then when I'm busy shaving my head, doing all the things that I need to do, it makes it so much easier. For the first year, I was kind of doing all this kind of stuff with this mirror, and with it being convex, it just makes it a lot harder to get everything done. Okay, as we can see, light is fading fast here, sun's disappearing. One more night of the TimmyBago in my possession, and tomorrow I'll take you inside and I'll show you all the things that I bought in here that have made my life much more enjoyable over the last 3 years. See you in the morning. Sleep well. Oh, hello, welcome to the following day, and it's much windier today, so most of this recording is going to take place inside the van, where I've got a lot of things to show you. I've actually got no idea how many. There was so many more in the cab than I thought there was going to be yesterday, so let's see what we've got in the back here. And let's start off with this. Doing. And it's not just one, I've got one here as well. That's my washing line in the front where I hang my towel. Good place for airing stuff out. And I've got more as well. I reckon just get yourself some bungee cords. They're so useful. You can make washing lines when you stop. You can clip them to trees. There's so many different ways and means that bungee cords are just useful all the time. Next thing on the list, and this is just a very general one, bearing in mind that this van I knew was never going to last forever, I was looking for temporary solutions all over the place, and one of the biggest ones was storage. You can see one of them right there behind me. That's the big one. But I also got this little one which hangs on the back of the chair here, and this other one over here where I put all my daily clothes, basically t-shirts, pants, socks, all go in there. But this one was actually the game changer because I've just got it filled with so many things that I use on a regular basis, so many things that I don't have to go into boxes for. It just made life so much easier and so much more simple having stuff right to hand. These hanging storage things, absolute game changer for me. And while we're on storage, I mentioned the storage boxes there, and for me, for somebody that was not building out a permanent van build, these boxes, like this one, this is a big one, and I've actually got 3 of these in here. There's another one down here, so this makes like a lovely bedside table when I had them stacked next to each other. There's another one there, then there's the mid-size ones like this, and the teeny one like that as well. I got all these from IKEA, and again, absolute game changer, just being able to keep things separate, organized and flexible. So I can move these around, I can throw loads of these under the bed if needs be to create more space in here. Yeah, and typically they're my more permanent storage solutions. However, the ones that I do use on a daily basis are this one, which has literally all my cooking gear in, and this little one, which is like my daily coffee, condiments, any cups and stuff like that, knives and spoons. And talking of which, this is the next thing on the list, because when I first got the van, I went off to like an outdoors store to get lots of things that I thought that I needed, and I went far too far down the camping route. This is very good if you're packing light, if you're hiking somewhere, but that's not what you do in a van. This is day-to-day life, so this is knives and spoons, absolutely take back, just get a regular knife and fork. This is definitely on the bad purchase list. Okay, a couple more things now that I keep down here under the front seat. One's an absolute necessity, and one is something that I use all the time, but I never thought I would. First things first. The necessity, this is the pee bottle. Yes, you can get smaller, more flexible ones that look less like a pee bottle, but I went with this one and it works a treat. Absolutely vital, especially when you're in built-up areas for sure. Out in the countryside, obviously, it's not a problem. And the second thing, and I've mentioned this in videos before, something that I only bought because I saw lots of other van life YouTubers using it, is dustpan and brush. The area that you live in is so small that it's so noticeable when it gets dirty. You just want to keep it clean all the time. So honestly, I use this every other day. probably absolutely crucial piece of van life equipment. Another little thing about just being a little bit more off-grid, a little bit more free to roam, is being able to keep things cold. I was not sure when I started this how off-grid I was going to go, how long I wanted to be away from civilization. So I did a test, basically, and I got this very cheap refrigerated bag from Mountain Warehouse. I want to say it was only 10 or 15 quid, so not expensive at all, but it's absolutely done me for the 2 years that I've needed it. Of course, it's not like having a fridge, but if you buy enough cold things, it keeps them cold for a long time, even in really high heats. Another little tip along those lines is if you know you're going to be adding some veg to whatever meal you're making, buy it frozen. Get the frozen veg in there. It will slowly thaw out over a day or two, and it'll keep other things cold as you go along. This was absolutely fine for my needs, and I would probably, unless the next van I get, will I get a next van? Little tease there. Unless the next van I get has a fridge built in, I think I would be very happy to go with a solution like this again. Onwards to the next thing. And where are we looking? Where are we looking? Do you remember in the front yesterday I showed you that plug that goes into the cigarette lighter? Well, that runs all the way down through underneath here, round here, down here, and I've unplugged it now, but into this bad boy. Ooh, that is basically a big battery. And again, just the requirement of being slightly off-grid, not wanting to rely on cafes or whatever to do work. This thing has been absolutely vital. It lasts me about 4 days when I'm using devices regularly, and that's been long enough for me. I paid about 700 quid for this one. Brand new. It was a decent discount. I think it was about £1,000. You can get much more for your money nowadays. That was 2 years ago. You can probably, something like that would probably cost half as much nowadays, but I'll link something down below that's the equivalent of this winner. Here's one that I kind of discovered by accident. Keeping yourself clean while in a van. I bought some of these, the more industrial version of them, when I was building out the inside of this van, just to wipe stuff down, to keep your hands clean while you're going. And I just remember at the end of the day thinking, wow, my hands feel kind of fresh and clean. These things have got aloe vera in them. The original industrial ones, which hopefully I've got a photo of and I'll put on the screen now, it smelled like you'd been in Dettol basically all day. It was not a good smell, but I found these ones with nice smells. This one's the grapefruit one. Is it grapefruit? Huh, it looks like a grapefruit, but it says pomelo. Anybody ever heard of that before? But I also got some lemony ones as well, and they were lovely. But these are massive, so I only need 2 of these to clean all of me, basically, and they do a great job. Obviously not as good as a shower. I wouldn't use them every single day, but at a push, some of these, honestly, just make life so much easier. While we're here in the back, Velcro, remember that? Here, Velcro for making curtain go all the way across, blocking out the light. Such an important thing for me in terms of sleep, and I used it up here to put that trim up there as well. Those are just 2 of the areas where I've used the Velcro. I was thinking it was almost time to head around the back and show you stuff there, but before we do, lighting. Before I had a van, if you'd asked me about light temperature, I would have gone, whatever. But in a space as small as this, if you've got bright light whites like these ones are, then it makes everything feel so clinical and the opposite of cozy, which is obviously what you want. However, this type of light, I have 1, 2, 3 of, and this one in particular has got a warm light setting, so definitely get warm lights. But honestly, these things, rechargeable by USB and magnetic, so you can stick them anywhere and stick them on the outside of the van at night if you're doing something out there. These things are mega. What's not mega are these things. Light temperature, not great on these ones, but also battery life was atrocious. I would never buy these again. This is on the X mark for sure. Right, round the back. Okay, going on with the bungee cords and things like that, just great stuff to have generally are these carabiners. Clip onto anything. I use this as a bit of a cloakroom, but I've got more coats hanging over there as well. Carabiners, places to hook them on, so useful during van life. Oh, and lastly, in terms of being independent, being able to move around, free from all the restraints of normal life, the single most vital thing, water. So I have loads of bottles inside the van, but this 25-litre tank with, what is that? That's a pouring spout when you're showering here at the van, when you're drinking a lot of water during these hot days. Winner. And so many people I've spoken to were like, oh, doesn't the water go off after like a week or 10 days? It never has. I've had water in there for, I think, months. And because of its position, down there nice and low, it's the coolest place in the entire van. And most importantly, it never gets any sunlight because pretty much the only time I open that door is when I'm getting that water bottle out. So it never gets any sunlight and it never gets any air either because that's airtight. So it stays fresh for a very, very long time. I don't think the water's ever sort of gone off in that jug. I mean, I could say get some netting like this because I love it. That came with this van and I've used it all the time, but I'm not sure if that would fit in everybody's van. But if like me, you're in a minimal build, something like that is good because it just adds a level of snugness. I sleep with my head this end and with that sort of down, it just makes everything feel more cozy. It's good storage on the top for jumpers and things like that. And it just adds to the insulation as well. So you know what? For a minimal build, I would definitely recommend that too. I think we're done. Okay, so that is my list of all the best things that I've bought for this van, for Vanlife, and some of the things that I would definitely never do again as well. Let me know in the comments down below, do any of these ring true for you? What will make it into your van? Anything that I haven't got that you think, how do you live without that? Let's hear about that as well down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll be featuring more about this, and I'll answer the most common question that I get in van life or about van life, which is, how do you keep clean? How do you not stink the joint out? Hit like and subscribe. See you in that. Peace. Ugh. Tim from the future here. Only an hour into the future. Look at it now. It's so empty. But just got in that box there and I found one good thing and one bad thing, so I thought I should share these as well. This is an electric heater and it's a very good electric heater, but it uses so much charge that it was untenable for me to use it in the van. It basically drained that Bluetti in about half an hour or an hour, I think, on its strongest setting. However, I did use it at various places where I stopped and stayed in cold places, so it hasn't been useless for me, but in terms of van life, waste of time unless you got a really good energy source. What wasn't a waste of time is this bad boy. This is basically a jump start kit, and you've seen me use this up in Isle of Harris and Lewis in Scotland, where it got the TimmyBago going just enough for it to then completely die, but vital. Even if you never use it, the peace of mind knowing you've got a jump start ready and available, just waiting wherever, just hide it somewhere in your van. Just peace of mind. Peace of mind, mate. Can't pay for that, although I did.